true power isn't about who yells the loudest. It's about who can stay centered and anchored in the face of chaos. Life is throwing hella punches, and the world is telling you and me, you better toughen up or get knocked the fuck out. But tough times don't have to turn you into tough as nails, and your softness, it's not a liability. In fact, it's a tactical advantage. And today I'm showing you how to wield that precious, gentle edge so you can stay grounded in your feminine energy, even when life tries to break you. I'm Sage, and I want to cut straight to the chase here because I value your time and mine. As you can see, I'm enjoying a beautiful day in the park and practicing my own softness. I know life right now feels rough for a lot of us, for real, and the last thing that you need is another reason to shut down your heart. So in the next few minutes, you'll learn how to stay in your feminine flow. From social media feeds telling you to grind nonstop to the workplace that demands a hardened persona, we're fed the lie that softness is for the weak. And over time, that message seeps in and we start believing it. And we start believing that soft means gullible. And we start even becoming exploited in our softness. But reality check, softness isn't a target on your back, it's a force field. And the problem here is that no one ever taught us how to put our superpowers to proper use. Modern life loves to flip our flight or flight switch on and off, chronic stress, never-ending tasks, family responsibilities, etc., etc. And trust me, I get it. And when your schedule is jammed from dawn until you crash out at night, softness feels like a luxury that you might not even be able to afford. Even me, I remember hitting a point where I woke up every single day, tight, tense, just like feeling like I had to brace for the impact of the day. And I was so convinced that being as soft and tender as I craved to be would mean that I'd get chewed up and spit out by the world. But I soon realized that the opposite was actually true. Softness became my armor of choice, and I didn't brace for the day, I just suited up. Feminine energy is actually more about receptivity, empathy, creativity, emotional authenticity, the things that give you depth and increase and help you maintain your flow. And yes, masculine energy, action, logic, structure, they're all equally important, but when life gets hardcore, we often default to that push harder, go harder mode and lose our feminine essence in the process. So reconnecting with your feminine vibe ensures that you don't lose yourself in that hustle and bustle. And maybe think of it this way, like you're not a machine, okay? You're both the artist and the masterpiece, evolving and already divine, curves, edges, and all. Quote that I love to remind myself often is, "A shattered gem still sparkles." The pieces of you that feel fractured are just reframing your brilliance. In other words, vulnerability is often tied to the feminine, but that still creates beauty and profound impact. You're still a diamond, even if you are in the process of becoming one. And like I talked about in my last video that you can find right here on instinct and intuition, chronic stress floods your system with cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and adrenaline, which we all know is something that warns us of danger, but that keeps you in fight mode. So no wonder softness feels unsafe. Your body thinks it's in a friggin' war zone, you know? When you learn to regulate stress through mindful breathing, better sleep patterns, or even just humor, a good laugh, you create space for compassion, to approach yourself with compassion and warmth. Now here's the dope part, and I won't go too far into this because like I said, I've already covered it in my previous video, but your brain can reset its defaults, funny enough. And we can thank neuroplasticity for this. In layman's terms, this means that you're able to undo some of the compounding damage stress has caused you. And hallelujah, okay? Because integrating calming practices like meditation, as I mentioned, breath work, gentle movement, that can rewire your nervous system and all of your systems so that you don't have to shelve your femininity just to cope in this masculine dominating world. Don't let people tell you that you're too emotional or broken in any way. Your body just needs the right signals to flip off that survival switch. And give yourself some grace. Most of us have not been taught how to flip that switch, a skill that takes years to cultivate. So take it slow and have faith that your brain and body already have the tools, the innate tools to care for you. It's just up to you to communicate the new direction you're going by taking intentional action. Spiritually speaking, many traditions see the heart as the seat of higher wisdom, as the voice of your intuition. And when you embrace your feminine softness, you're not just being nice or kind, you're tuning into that internal compass, your intuition, your connection to something higher, greater. You can call it divine feminine, you can call it God, source, your ancestors, whatever resonates best with you. But it often speaks in the language of empathy, nurture, and quiet knowing, all traits that are of the feminine and all traits that you were innately born with. So use nature as an example, look at how it operates. Gentle rains can still carve canyons over time. Seasons shift seamlessly from one to the next with no force, just flow. Flowers bloom, trees blow in the wind, And it's just a perfect reflection of that feminine energy. It's adaptive, persistent, it's nurturing. So keep that in mind next time someone says softness is a liability. In nature, softness is actually an unstoppable force. All right, now let's get practical here, because theory, all this is cool, but you need steps that you can actually take, even with a busy schedule, right? So first thing I'd suggest is an energy check-in. In the morning, place a hand on your heart, close your eyes, and ask, where can I invite gentleness in today? Then ask yourself, how many fucks do I have to give today? And I'm not even kidding, okay? This is why it helps. It sets a compassionate tone before the chaos starts. Knowing where your energy lies and how much you have to dish out after putting yourself first is so helpful in setting up your day so that you win. Now you give yourself the gift of softness and then allow everyone else to work around the rest, period. Kids, partners, work people, whoever. Second thing is to embody relaxation. Gentle movement like restorative yoga, slow stretching, or just dancing in your living room. 10 minutes of this a day, I promise you, can unravel years of stress buildup. And a pro tip, if you have no time at all, which I find it hard to believe, make it a point to notice when you are tense and tight. Just take a moment to take a deep inhale through the nose, and when you exhale out through the mouth, unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders down, and relax. Repeat as many times as you can, as many times as you need, because you'd be amazed how tension in the body translates to tension in the soul and the mind and the heart. And another thing is to set compassionate boundaries. Learn to say no from a place of love. Okay, softness doesn't mean being a doormat, right? It's about choosing where your energy goes. That's called self-preservation, energy conservation, Like boundaries are never bad. Those are meant for energy conservation, and they don't have to be delivered in a hurtful way for them to be impactful. But it is about setting the boundaries so again, you win, you protect your energy. Another thing that really helps kind of tap into your divine feminine is to create sensual moments, like weave them into your day. Light a candle at night when you go to bed, play soothing music when you're in the shower, indulge in cozy textures in your clothes, eat slowly instead of scarfing down your lunch, noticing your chews, Your senses are a gateway to your feminine, so nourish them. And this is a big one that I could go on and on and on about, but practice receiving. Let someone else pick up the bill. Accept compliments graciously. Allow others to do things for you without feeling the need to pay the favor back or be reciprocal, Receptivity is core feminine energy. It strengthens your capacity to flow instead of force. And if you notice that this is becoming more challenging than it sounds, it's probably because you're used to operating in the masculine, like a lot of us are. Being the strong, independent woman, yes. It's like, babe, fuck all that, all right? When a divine woman is in her femininity, she doesn't see being showered with love, gifts, services, acts as a bad thing. She knows that she deserves it. and anything else that she desires for that matter. Like I said, I can continue on about this. So if this is something that you're interested in hearing more about, please leave a white heart in the comments below and I'll know to get started on that video. Okay, now grab a journal or open a notes app because we're gonna get down to the nitty-gritty here. All right, and disclaimer, these are like mini therapy sessions with yourself. So carve out some time to tap in to these journaling prompts if you don't have right now. Who first taught you that being strong meant being unbreakable? When was the last time you held back your emotions to appear strong? And what did you truly need in that moment? If you allowed yourself to soften in the areas that you feel most pressured to toughen up, to harden, what fears arise? What would it mean for you to embrace a different version of strength? Okay, the second question, I want you to think back to a time where you felt truly safe in your feminine energy. What were you doing? Who were you with? What emotions flowed through you? What did that moment teach you about the kind of space and the kind of energy that you actually need to flourish? And if you had to describe your feminine energy as a place, element, or sensation, what would it be? How can you return to that place more often? Third question, what beliefs do you carry about being soft, receptive, or vulnerable? Where did those come from? Your softness could speak if you gave it a voice. What would she tell you that she needs? How can you honor your need for rest, nurture, and gentleness today without feeling like you have to earn it? When was the last time you received a gift, help, or a compliment and immediately felt the need to give back, to justify, or to downplay whatever was said? What made you react that way? And how does your body react to receiving in general? Do you tense up? Do you have a shallow breath? Do you start feeling anxious? What would it look like to receive with ease? And if you saw receiving as an act of love, not just for yourself, but for others, how would your relationship with it change? Last question here. What does strength look like when it's gentle, fluid, and intuitive rather than rigid and forceful? What areas of your life are you resisting surrendering to? And what are you afraid might happen if you actually fully let go? How can you create a balance between holding and releasing, pushing and flowing, giving and receiving in your daily life? The more honest and open you are with yourself when you answer these questions, the closer you get to that feminine flow that we're looking for here. And don't worry if you don't have time to jot these down right now. I put them into a PDF form that you can access at any time, okay? The link will be in the description box below. I got you. Okay, so I want to give you some real life, concrete, tangible ways to stay in your feminine energy. At work, for example. Before stepping into a stressful meeting or whatever the case is, take 30 seconds to pause, breathe deeply, and affirm, my softness is my strength. Let empathy lead the way, whether it's navigating a tough conversation, supporting a colleague, or even negotiating a deal. Feminine energy isn't about passivity, it's about presence, intuition, and emotional intelligence. In relationships, for example, when survival mode kicks in, and it often does, defensiveness can feel like the safest option. Lashing out, But instead, try active listening. Pause, repeat back what you heard, and then respond. Because this keeps you engaged, not reactive. In conflict, ask yourself, do you want to connect or do you just want to be right? Softness doesn't mean weakness, ladies. It often leads to deeper understanding and real resolution. And personal self-care, give yourself at least one evening a week for a gentle reset. A lot of us like Sundays, the day of rest. And that's cool. And that could be a long bath. That could be reading something for pleasure, not productivity, like not a self-help book, just for enjoyment. Or it could just be lying in bed, listening to your favorite music, No agenda, just ease. And if you caught my last video on instinct and intuition, try pairing those intuition exercises with some of these softness rituals. Trust me, it's such a game changer when you give a gift to yourself like this. When you create space for softness, your intuition starts to get louder instead of that whisper that we're used to. So I'll leave you with this. Remember, softness doesn't mean that you're fragile, weak, whatever. It just means that you're deeply alive, deeply feeling, and deeply human. By staying connected to this aspect of your feminine energy, you won't just survive these hard times, you'll grow with them with grace and authenticity. True power isn't about being the loudest. It's about staying centered and anchored in the chaos. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sage, signing off with so much love. Stay soft, stay true, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.